Hi guys. I'm just jumping on here. We're gonna start something a little bit crazy, a little bit fun. But today is my first makeup tutorial that I am posting. Super excited about it. A lot of people have asked me to do it, so here we are. I am also going to be posting this on YouTube, not just Facebook. So if you want to subscribe, great, because hopefully more makeup videos will be here to come. Sorry, guys, a little nervous. But today I am just going to do a simple-ish makeup look, and I'm just gonna walk you through on what products I use, which ones are my favorites right now, and go from there. All right, so to jump in here, I've already prepped my face. The only kind of prep I do for my face, and I recommend something that's going to work for you, because necessarily what works for me won't work for you, because my skin is super duper oily and it's a chore. So if you have dry skin, it's going to be a different process. But for me, I usually will wash my face, and then I will, I've been using this product that's called Silver Gel. It's the only thing that I've ever been able to find that balances out my redness, my acne, my oil, everything. So that is definitely by far one of my favorites. But that, I believe you can get similar products to what I'm using at Walgreens. I don't think it's the exact same one, but who knows. But then from there, I go in with my Laura Mercier matte primer. Now with this, I will just take some, put it on the back of my hand, and just get everywhere that I know is gonna need that bit of primer. This primer is the only one that I have found for myself that doesn't separate too much on my face. And by separate, I mean like the makeup just like splits, and then all the work that you've put into your face just is gone. I've used this one and then their original one. Both are really good. I just like this one because it keeps me mainly matte for the majority of the day. I mean, we're all gonna get shiny. It is what it is. But then after that, I have been using my Pretty Fresh from ColourPop. Now this is a toner, but it's colored to be a foundation. And I really like it because it blends really well. It matches my skin tone really well. It's not super heavy. It's not full coverage, but it gets the job done. So I go in with my Morphe sponge. If you don't have one of these, girl, get you one of these. They're the absolute best. So I just go in and start with my foundation here. And then once I have a pretty good coat on everywhere, on my whole face here, I will take it down my neck, just to like blend it out, make sure that I don't have that nasty line that makes you look like you're just like a head. I hate that line, so I try to do everything to avoid it. Now with this method, you can use a brush, I don't particularly love a brush, but you can do a brush. But with the sponges, I recommend that you do get them wet. Mine is pretty wet. It's a sponge, like it's gonna soak them up, but it is wet. So from there, I go in with my concealer. And currently, and for a really long time, I have been using the Kylie Cosmetics concealer in the color Crimson. Matches me really well. It covers my pores really well. And it color corrects as well. Like I have this little blemish right here that I can cover up, and it will do its job and get me to not have that while I'm playing with my makeup here. So I just go in right underneath my eyes, and then I usually will just bring it down in like kind of a triangle, not an exact triangle, but I just cover all of my major pores right here just because I hate them. And then I will go up on my nose here, and I'll do a little bit just right here underneath my my nose because I'm a little bit red right there, and then I always just bring it in on my chin. That looks like a lot, but it blends really well and it doesn't ever look cakey for me. She has multiple different shades. They are sold at Ulta, so if you want to try them, I definitely recommend them. I use a lot of her products. I'm a little biased to her because I love her, but her products, regardless of what you think of her, her products are great. And that's just not me saying because I love her. It's the honest to God truth. I tell everybody to use them, to use her products. I absolutely am obsessed with the look that her makeup gives me. And I've recently tried her Kylie Skin. Been hesitant on that one just because my face is so sensitive. But to be honest with you, it is a much better like result than what I was thinking it was going to be. So if you have questions about her products or just want to give it a try, I consider myself a little bit of an expert because I use them and I buy all of them. I really do. And here we have the translucent powder from Kylie. Again, really love this product. It's very like velvet to the touch to your skin. And when I do this, I usually just go in fairly lightly just to set everything that I've just done, just to make sure that I don't crease or anything like that, rub off. And then I will take that down my neck as well just to kind of stop that transfer from my clothes. And then once I have a pretty good layer going on of that, and for this I just use my angle brush. I don't know what brown this is, I have no idea, but I will go in with my Tarte Mermaid brush, my fluffy brush. This is the brush that I use for a lot of different things, so you'll probably see it from beginning to end really. But I just go over, the brush is empty, but I just go over what I just did to kind of blend it out a little bit more, just to make sure that it lays flat, and if there's anything loose that goes away, just so that my next steps are going to be a little bit easier to like stack on top of each other. Okay, so from there, I go in with my Hoola bronzer, and this is from Benefit, and I have tried a couple different bronzers. I've tried the full-on like concealer to contour look, and I like it. It's just, this is more natural, and I feel just a little bit more confident. I feel like it shows off my cheekbones when I just do the bronzer a little bit more. But that's really just dependent on your preference of that. But I will go in, I'll start right here, right underneath my ear, and then I'll just bring it down close to my cheek. I'm sorry, not my cheek, my mouth. Good grief. Okay. And then I will do the same thing over here. And I usually try and get this not super dark, but dark enough where you can definitely see that definition. And then I always just go in on my forehead right by my hairline just to kind of blend it. They say that you are supposed to do that 3. I don't draw a 3 on my face every single time I do my makeup, but I do the 3 essentially. I just do it in different steps. And then so I will bring my forehead bronzer down into my cheek, darken that a little bit more, and then I always just come down here on my jawbone and then underneath my chin on the other side, and then I will do this other side of my forehead as well. Now for my nose, I will also use the bronzer. Adds a little bit more of a definition, but not super like crazy. To me, I just don't. I think some people can pull off that extra like contoured nose look, but I don't feel like I'm one for that. I just don't feel like it like works with my shape of my nose. But yeah. Okay, so once I have a pretty good base with this going on, I go down into my nose, just on the sides. With this, I do like to come up into just this little arch right here leading into my eyebrow, just because it does add a little bit more of a definition, and it makes my nose look a little bit longer and more like narrow. I recommend that if you're doing nose contour, just because it adds, like I said, that definition. And this brush I'm using here is just an angle brush from Wet n Wild. I've had it forever. I've just kind of used that into my contour brush. It does the job, but once I have the amount of color that I want, I go in with my other Tarte brush here, and it's more of like a flatter, it's like a flat brush. I use this to blend it out a little bit. The thing that I hate when I do people's makeups or my own makeup is I hate when there's harsh lines. I absolutely hate it. Makes me feel like I did not do a good enough job. And so that's what this brush is for. It's just to make sure that there's no super harsh lines on here. And so yeah. So once I have this kind of going on, I'll blend it out. I will go in with my baking process. Now, baking is a really hard thing to explain, but essentially you add it to like right under your contour to brighten your contour, but also to, like, it just sits there. You just put it on, it sits there, and then it just leaves color, and it just looks pretty. And don't ask me the actual purpose of baking. I just know I do it, and I love to do it. So with this, I will just start like right under what I just contoured, bring it down, blend it in just a little bit, make sure that you can kind of see like a line to it, just because it is going to me, I feel like it just brightens my contour, but that's just me. It could do something completely different, and I don't know. But from there, I go in just on both sides, do that really quick, and then I will go on my nose. I just bring out my chin just to make sure that it just even everywhere. I'm making a mess with this powder. Okay, so once I have that all ready to go, I go in on my nose, and the nice part about this sponge is that it has this flat line, so I can get into the sides of my nose really, really well. And so I will just go in on my contour that I just did, and then I'll just swoop it out here, just to, again, just to define that contour I just did. And then I'll do the other side, swoop it out, and then I take a little and just go on the top of my nose, it just in between the contour of what I just did, and then I'll go on my forehead just a little bit. I don't ever go super heavy with any product on my forehead, just because I hate when it turns out cakey, and I find that anytime I go heavy with anything on a forehead, it just turns out to be a mess. So once I have that, and I'll kind of pat it in just a little bit, once I have that all set up, ready to go, I then will start my eyes. Now, the process for my eyes, it varies from what kind of makeup look I'm doing, because today we're just doing kind of like a simple makeup look. That's why I've started my face first. Now, typically, if I'm doing like a crazy eyeshadow, I will start with I'll like prime my eyes and set them and everything, and then I'll go in with eyeshadow, and then after they're done is when I will go in with my foundation and everything like that. But today, just because it's simple, sorry, I hit my eye real bad. Okay, I lost my train of thought. Okay, eyeshadow. We're back to eyeshadow. Today I am going to be using the Kylie Jenner Cheetah collection. One of my favorites of hers, I do believe. It's pretty like neutral toned, but it's really nice because it does have a little bit of like the colors in it. This like shimmer is really pretty, so is this one. But today we are just going to go in with this little guy here. The name of it is RAR. So for this, I am just going to take one of my new Morphe brushes, just a little bit of a fluffy brush, and I'm just going to take that color, and I am just going to go into my crease. So I am just going to start right here, go in to my crease just to kind of darken it. I've been doing this just with like simple eyeliner lately, and I absolutely love it. And then once I have that blended out really good, I also take a secondary brush. This one is just from the same collection of my my slanted brush that I use to start my foundation. This I just take to kind of get rid of any harsh edges that are there, just to make sure that it's blended really good. And then once that's taken care of, I go into the other eye. I like to do 2 eyes at once. I know other like makeup artists that will just do 1 at a time. I personally like to do it at the same time, because it's just, I feel like it matches better. I always find myself having a harder time matching my eyeshadow if I do 1 eye at a time. 1 eye at a time. Okay, so once that's all in my crease here, you can kind of see the color. It doesn't leave a whole lot of color, but it does darken your crease here, and I just really love that look. So from there, I'll just blend this out again, and then today I think we're going to go in with I feel like we're gonna do a little bit of a cut crease. Okay, so for this cut crease, I'm just gonna go back in with my concealer, and then I'm gonna just take this little teeny tiny brush, and I am just gonna go in on my eye with it. Oh, it had some stuff on it. Okay, let's try again. Okay, so once I have a really good little crease going on, now listen y'all, cut creases are so hard for me to do. They're real difficult. Okay, so once I have that taken care of, I'm gonna go in with another shade, and I'm just gonna pat it on here just to give it a little bit of color. I'm gonna go in with this rounded flat brush and pat that in. Okay. All right, so that is what I'm going for today. Just gonna, you can see the difference a little bit. But then, let me just go in on my other eye super quick, because like I said, I can't do one and not the other. Just does not work for me. Okay. Okay, now that that one's done, I'm just gonna do the same step, just go in with this lighter color, and then we're gonna play with some glitter. I love glitter. It's a problem how much I love glitter. Okay. While I'm finishing this, how was everybody's New Year? I know it's been a crazy last year, but I hope you all had a fun and safe New Year's. Okay, so now that that is set on there, you can see the colors. I'm gonna go in, we're gonna do something a little crazy. I've been seeing a lot of different like glitter looks, but for this I'm going to take the Morphe Ice Fantasy, and we're gonna play with this beautiful glitter that's in here. But this is the palette. Absolutely love it. It's a bunch of pastels, but today we're gonna take this guy and we're gonna play with him, because it is just one beautiful shade of glitter. Okay. Sorry, I like this lighter color in this palette better than the lighter color in that palette. So, I'm fixing it. Okay. So now, I'm gonna go in, we're gonna see how this works. I'm gonna go in with this same teeny tiny brush. And I'm gonna take this glitter and just dab this in here just a little bit. Just kidding, I need some of this setting spray. Now, the setting spray I use, we'll come back to it for that, but I'm just gonna get some on my brush and go just right back into my crease with this glitter. That's all I'm doing. Is just gonna take this glitter and come into my crease. You can kind of see it, kind of can't. It's fine. I just wanted something kind of simple but glittery today. Okay. So once it looks the way that I want it to, we're just gonna move on here. Okay. All right. This glitter, I could bathe in it. It's so perfect. Okay. That's all I wanted this palette for today. Okay, so now I'm just going in, gonna blend this out just a hair, just because it's a very loose glitter once you get it out of the pan, and it's just, you gotta play with it. Okay, so now that that's blended, kind of see what's going on. From there, I'm gonna take my eyeliner and we're gonna do a little bit of a wing. For eyeliner, I've tried many different products, but the Kyliner from Kylie Cosmetics has been one of my favorites. It's in this pencil. It has a very fine tip, and it lasts really, really long amount of time on me. I've tried Revlon, I've tried Tarte, I've tried Fenty, just to name a couple, and I love them all, but this one is the only one that stays the way that I want it to stay. And I don't know if this one's at Ulta, but I do know it's on her website. And then for a wing, I start out on the edge. I start on the edge, I come in here, bring it in, and make it work. So let me go in with that. Okay. And that is how I do my wing. I like to square it out on this far corner. I feel like it just makes my eyes look a little bit bolder. You can kind of see what I'm talking about, and then I just go up with it. But I can't talk and do this at the same time. There's too much concentration in it. Okay, and just like that, they're ready to go. So from there, that's when I will go in with my mascara. I have tried so many different mascaras, you guys, you have no idea. And I'm gonna tell you what, They're Real from Benefit is by far my favorite of all time. That was a little dramatic, but I'm not playing. It's the perfect consistency. It makes your eyelashes so beautiful, so full. I'm obsessed with this one. This one is a forever mascara. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna go in with my mascara really quick and I will be right back. Okay. So, now that we're done with that, I go in with this fluffy brush again, and I just blend out everything that's been baking. Blend that out here, and voila, just dust all that off of there. Okay, and then for this little product, it's a blotting powder, also from Kylie. It is from her Kendall and Kylie collection. It just looks like this. There's nothing that comes out. It's just to keep you matte. And I always just go in under my eyes and on top of my nose and my chin, just to, I really put it everywhere, but it's just to make sure that I stay matte. Just like I said, I have really oily skin and I hate when it becomes super shiny, so I found that really helps. And then from there, I go in with my Hourglass Luminous Light powder. Looks like this. I put this all over my face. It just kind of makes everything a little bit dewy. I don't put very much. I just put a little bit to add a little bit of an oomph. And then from there, I go in with my blushes. Now for my blushes, I use this blush from Kylie from her 2019 Valentine's Day collection. One of my favorite collections from her. And then I also take my Stormy blush and I mix them together. This is from her collab, or her one that she did for her daughter. This one's called Flutter in Love, and this one is called Crush. And I mix them together. It just adds a really pretty, it adds a pretty little light. You can see that this one's definitely more red than this one. This one is more neutral. And I use the Stormy one to kind of tone down the Valentine's Day one, but not so much so that it doesn't look like anything. So I mix them and then just flick my brush to make sure that there's not a whole lot of fallout. And then I go in on my cheek, a little bit on my forehead, my nose, and my chin, but my cheeks are obviously the main spot here. Oh, we went a little bit too crazy with that. So when I go a little crazy with my blush, I just take in, again, this neutral fluffy brush, and I just tone it down a little bit. That way it doesn't look super crazy, but now I look like I have color in my face, which is fantastic. Fun fact about me, I used to hate blush. Absolutely hated it. I would never wear it. I refused to wear it. I thought that was the most ridiculous thing that you could ever put on your face. Like, why would you wear blush? Like, I could never comprehend it. And then one day, I got a little bold, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try it. Ever since that day, never not worn blush. Blush is one of my favorite things ever. And then from there, I take this little brow brush. I don't fill in my brows. I don't necessarily need to. I usually just do it just to make sure that they look as dark as my hair after my foundation and everything. And I use this from Hourglass in the color Arch. It's just a fiber gel. And so I will go in on my brows with this guy. And I do that last. Some people do their brows first. I do mine last. I cannot do them first. But then again, I don't really fill them in. I am just making them a little darker and brushing them. That's all I am doing. Okay. So after I brush them out, I will go in with, where's my brain? Don't know. I usually just take a Q-tip, and I will get it wet. Where is my, I'll get it wet. And then I just get the extra stuff off my lips. That's all I do. Okay. And then I will go in with my, by far my favorite part, and that is the highlighter. And today we're using the Fenty Beauty How Many Carats. Love this highlight. But I'm just going to take this highlight and I'm just going to go in on my eyes, just in the inner corner, and just underneath my brow, just to kind of blend it out a little bit more with the whole eyeshadow look. Okay, see, not too much, but enough to make me happy. And then I will go in with my fan brush, and I usually spray that just a couple times, just so I can get an extra amount of pigment, like blinding. And then I just go right here, up on my forehead, over the arch of my brow, on my nose, right here on top of my lip, and then my chin, and then obviously the other side of my face and by my brow. And see, this is why it's my favorite highlighter. It's so pigmented, it's so pretty. If you don't have it, go get it. It's at Sephora, you guys. Just get it. And then after I do my highlight, I do kind of just like tone it down just by rubbing my hands on my face. I know that's not the proper method, but I do it anyways. And then for lip color today, I am using Kiss Me Sailor from Kylie. Told y'all I use a lot of Kylie products. This one's really pretty, though, because it has a darker lip liner than it does the actual color. So it adds just like a little bit more of a definition. Basically, you're contouring your lips, and it's fun to do. So I'm gonna go in and do that, and I will be right back. Okay, so there's the finished look, you guys. We gotta go in with, we have to set our face. Duh, we ain't done. For this, I go in with the Urban Decay De-Slick. This one's my favorite. It is for mattifying, but they have multiple different brand or different products that you can get, and each one does a little different thing. And then usually just fan myself a little bit to dry. There we go, everybody. That is my semi-basic face makeup. I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching. Bye.